all these balances to your wallet. And from that point, the skills will become usable only if you are using your custodial wallet, your basically Treasure login, because every transaction, every action in the game, such as claiming battle rewards or going and spending your fishing bait inside a pond to catch a fish or cooking a fish, all of these will be on-chain transactions. And this is the first phase. The second phase will be followed around 1 week after that, where we will be updating Trader and we will be adding initial liquidity for all of these different resources. So players will be able to trade these items directly inside a game, no need to sign any transactions. Essentially, that will give instant liquidity to any item, and this will become a big component of the flywheel we are creating. And also, this will be in some way an answer how to give new players way better experience, because as we are building and progressing, there are core community of deceivers who actually have achieved quite a lot throughout the last year and last 2 years in terms of progress. And sometimes it's kind of a bit frightening for new players to just imagine how they could catch up. But the thing in deceivers, it's not about being like number one at all times. It's actually about the journey itself. So with this update, we will basically allow any player to earn resources and trade inside deceivers. And this means now they will have a way to essentially trade themselves up to the point where, okay, they may not be able to level up 9 Zs at the same time so they can reach the evolution, or they may not be able to buy Genesis loot put anymore. But because there is a liquidity on chain and every action they perform actually generates them some sort of liquidity, they will be kind of able to eventually save up just by playing the game for all this fancy stuff. And on the other hand, we really want to stick to how we originally envisioned all these items. And one really fundamental aspect of that is that everything what we release should hold value in the future. And like it seems it's working, but at the same time it just creates another type of problems, such as new players being intimidated to even like try to really push. And with this flywheel, with fishing and cooking coming on chain, we want to basically move step forward to make the onboarding way smoother. And this is exactly what we need. We want to open up our gates to welcome like thousands of new players, and yeah. So that's something super important in terms of updates. I think that's one of like the biggest things coming this month. Yeah, we ourselves, we see that almost as the next chapter, like a mini chapter for Deceivers. But besides that, there is many more different things coming down the line. Jackal, by the way, did you manage to fix your mic?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh yeah, that was nice. Yeah,
hey
so
guys.
There's a bunch of other stuff we've been like working heavily, and that's going to be released a bit later down the road. And maybe Jackal can give some updates, and at the end, Jay could share also some progress from the land development. So yeah, stage is yours.
Right. Hey guys. So speaking of fish, trading them for energy potions isn't the only thing coming. Some new fish will start to populate our water bodies as well. And a couple of AMAs ago, before the fishing came out, Euler actually had mentioned that we're exploring an idea about these rare fish, like these trophy catches, like super rare variants of those. So those are also coming. Now they won't have anything special, like they won't heal you or do anything more than that, but they will mark an very incredible accomplishment. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Sorry, I wanted
about.
to add one point.
Mm,
They're gonna be probably in gold color, so that's like the biggest advantage for these rare fish. But yeah, we wanted to make something like super rare, just for sake of adding a bit of depth to the fishing skill itself. And by super rare, I mean we're like looking into 1 against 100,000 chance to receive that kind of fish, or one against 500K chance. So something what generally isn't a game breaking feature, but this is more like yeah, it's just like a thing. So yeah, I think that's kind of special about that. Jael.
uh, yeah. So additionally, we already briefly touched upon the fact that we are reworking the whole VLAN mask staking just to like bring it all together, have a cohesive look, make it look pretty and all. And for we need that to happen so we can prepare for what we have teased for a while already for what's gonna come in place with the ambassador program. But yeah, for more updates coming your way pretty soon. There's also the Party Island and like foundations for tribes. Now, the tribes we had for the Harvester event. Shout out to everybody who participated. That was so much fun. The tribes we had for that, it was purely like to match people together, right? But now we are starting to introduce more social mechanics into the game with the preparation for the land release as well. So yeah, those two are gonna come together, and yeah, Party Island. Uh, Sorry about it. Party Island's gonna be a place where we're gonna. Euler, how much do we talk about Party Island? uh,
What do you mean?
like, uh, I don't know. Are we talking about all of the functionality or just like
Oh
what
yeah, yeah,
we're?
yeah. I guess that's something what we can share. So
Yeah.
like,
So if
go on.
there's some ex RuneScape players, maybe this might feel familiar to you. In regards to the Followers party room, where you can have social function and host drop parties, etc., and have this. Sorry about it. Sorry, I'm. Give me a second.
Yeah, maybe I can just
Yes, thank you.
go over. Yeah. So the party islands in general is something what we are building on top of all these ideas which we explored back in days with Curve Llama Mint, which was like pretty much play to mint type of experience where all the players like were able to just hop in a game and try to catch a voxel and essentially become a way how we can mint and airdrop stuff directly inside the game, and all of these also became like a social experiences. And after that followed the weekly harvest event where people were able to catch like a corn loot pods, and we see a lot of potential in that. But with the party island, we wanted to basically make these things and kind of created that as a platform where in the future we will be organizing like different kind of events. So like let's say right now we are in this Discord AMA, but at the same time, I would be welcoming you all in a party island, as there we would be just dropping some casual stuff, but at the same time, it gives this effect of everyone being in the same place. So that's definitely one way how we're going to use it when we are hosting our own AMAs. But in the future, we are looking to partner with some different protocol and different projects, and this will become a tool for them to organize these SocialFi experiences where they will be airdropping stuff to our community, their own community, essentially bringing some new eyes and new people to the Zevers. And one thing I'm like super excited about myself is we want to create a system where everyone can create their own party and invite their friends. So let's say once we have these like guilds and like tribes and players already are forming in these social groups, they may decide, okay, we had like a really good run this week. Let's create just one party, just like a giveaway, and we want to kind of make that possible for anyone. And we already know there is a bunch of guys who like to create stuff, like create content, and this will just become a pretty great tool for people to organize variety of different things. I don't think even we can now imagine how that will be used in every possible way. But yeah, I think that's the goal. We just want to give you the tools and see where that goes. When Llama Ride probably in Zero's beta, as there's a bit bigger distances which needs to be covered. So that may be a good purpose. Yeah. Okay. I think Jael, if you are good to come back,
Yes,
keep...
I am.
Yeah. Cool.
I am back. So yeah, so that's coming. I believe at the start of the next month. So not that far ahead. And a very popular question in our Discord is when chest, and we're currently looking for the Mr. Blocks chest to finally come your way at the middle of July. And I believe we already have pretty much the majority of the contents inside. What I can slip you guys is that the legendary staff is going to also have an AoE ability that can proc sometimes and damage other Z's. Nothing too crazy, but we love to create our legendary items worthy of their status. Now we're going to talk about legendary eggs in a bit. So yeah, anything you want to add to that, Euler, in regards to Mr. Block's chest? Right. All right. So we're gonna close off July with the co-op mode, 5v5 dungeons, bigger, better bosses, and with the necessity to strategize. I believe with that as well, we're gonna revisit Ninawaka, give it a little buff. Yes, yes, Conrad. At around the time co-op comes out, Ninawaka will be revisited and buffed a bit.
Yeah, by the way, I didn't, so I have my mic off. So regarding the Mr. Block loot boxes, we want everything to work on the day one. So there is like still some work needs to be done to make everything functional. After all, we are releasing like 7 new Zs. and some new equipment, which is kind of almost doubles the existing amount of disease. So it's actually quite a big content push. Yeah, so it's coming, and we want to make sure that everything just works from the day one. So yeah, that just takes a bit of time. And Jill, you were talking about already about co-op, right? So
yeah, kind of rushed ahead there as well. But yeah, is there something you want to talk about co-op more?
of
5v5 dungeon.
yeah, 5v5 is something what's definitely adding way more depth inside the game and improving the solo mode experience. But at the same time, what we're like very excited about is having ability to play with your friends at the same time, and generally working together in order to achieve something big. I think that's kind of the purpose and the fundamental idea behind the co-op. And so we're gonna start. We already have started working on that, but we're gonna probably start quite simple. So this will be mode itself, and you will be able to fight like a really strong, large enemy. And once we have that in a place and we see how it goes, we will be looking to essentially build more on top of that and add more complex mechanics. So it becomes more and more about the skill and your knowledge about the game and the way how you communicate with others. Because I think the best experience comes uh, from ability to crush a challenge which you just pulled off because you were able to like do a flawless execution of the strategy you came up with. And if somebody just like fucks up, then everybody is wiped. And I think that's something what's like a real work of the team is uh yeah, it's essentially something when we want to create inside the Zevers. So the teams and people can work together, and if they succeed, they get rewarded together. If they fail, they get kind of punished together. So very, very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the Vulcan's big bad brother.
Yeah. The question about will it consume energy? It won't, but we will be introducing a new consumable item in the forge. So the idea is that you will be able to challenge the big brother of Vulcan when you receive the token, and there will only be one token to create a group. So if you are playing with friends, it's up to you to decide who's going to spend the token this time. Uh, yeah, so it won't consume energy. It will only consume the like this Vulcan token, which is obtainable by killing Vulcan in regular Forge mode. So yeah,
Yeah, farming is that gonna be also another level of complexity, right? Because you only have like this one brief window in the week where you can farm Vulcan and the tokens.
yeah, but at the same time, because that token is also consumable, it will be tradable, and you will be able to just go to the trader and buy that token from the liquidity pool um, if you want. So there will be some players who may not have um, good enough equipment and strong enough Z's to challenge this like big boss. But at the same time, there is something for them to do with the reward if they get lucky and receive the Vulcan token. So it's yeah, we want to create a player-driven market. So it's everything what we introduce, every research we've introduced is actually pretty yeah big part of how economy works and how different player groups um, synchronize with each other, and yeah, where is the synergy? So yeah, maybe Jael, you can move forward. I guess.
Yeah, and that's gonna wrap up July uh, for us. And the next update we're looking at is the farming and herbalism update. Uh, just to briefly recap, find seeds in dungeon, plant seeds, cultivate your crops, and create potions. Potions which will aid you in battle and make you stronger. And probably then we're going to see even more people clearing even the Forge 40s, which I looked at the Forge 40 video and I was like astounded. Still, how could it be done? But yeah, there's also going to be farming equipment that will boost the um, uh, what was it? It was uh, yield for the crops. And yeah, and then mid-August we're rolling into the Genesis Z's. Both legendary, not both, all three of the legendary and all three of the mythic will be able to be uh, hatched and played with, leveled up, and everything. Um,
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
One thing I wanted to add, I don't think we touched this in the same way, but we last week we launched new staking rewards for people who stake V and V liquidity, and we released like the next batch of supply, which is dedicated to the stakers, which is 1.25 billion V token, which is actually the biggest allocation we've done so far. And even right now, there is ability to earn anywhere between 350% to 1,000 percent APR on the staking. So just a reminder to check that out, because the goal we want to achieve with that is to build more and more stable liquidity for V token, because this will play a very crucial role when it comes to all these tradable item pools, and it's kind of connected all together. So yeah, that's a great opportunity to receive quite a significant rewards if you hold the V token in Magic. So why not just put them in liquidity and earn some rewards on top of that? What do you mean is that connection to Magic Swap? So we are Treasury is helping to build a lot of that tech. So it's not necessarily in the Magic Swap when it comes to the staking, but in order to stake liquidity tokens, you need to deposit your liquidity into Magic Swap, and in return you get your staked LP tokens, which then you can your LP tokens, which then you can stake in a vault to receive that AMA, not AMA, APR. Sorry.
And how are we looking with the heist?
So it's currently still on hold. We have already few ideas how we can change it into, let's say, more controllable experience, and because I guess the biggest change will be that we will be allocating fixed supply of V token for people who stake. So we don't necessarily start to compound the inflation. And once we have that in a place, we have basically way more comfortable way to balance that thing. And also we are even thinking of having the haste fully on chain, and that of course requires to be way more careful with how it's designed. So some before you were basically stealing from people, like raiding their loot off chain, and with this we plan to uh, make it so all of liquidity is on chain. So this is also one step forward for unlocking the V economy. So yeah, no current estimate yet, but it shouldn't be that big. We're just still trying to decide what is the most sustainable and essentially what is the most sustainable model. And yeah, we need just a bit of space and time, and we need to see how other parts of economy works, because at the end of the day this is like a really big puzzle where once you move some certain piece it kind of changes things everywhere. And yeah, so that's basically how we are moving forward with haste.
Sweet. I think we could talk a little bit about the lands, if Jay is around. Jay, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm around.
Hey, man.
Cool. Yeah. So, hey guys, happy to be here. Haven't checked in a bit, but that's all for a good reason. We've been having very nice and productive brainstorms and sessions designing the upcoming mainland. Actually, most of the layout is done. We've been diving deep into all the physics of the world with how regions should be shaped, connected, how the rivers should be formed. We've put down lots and lots of settlements, let's say, in cities, and so we have the general map ready, and we've already done lots of tests for scales. Yeah, that's because our office here isn't really soundproofed yet. But you can think about it like that as well. But yeah, so anyways, we've already done some scaling tests, and one test specifically had us run throughout the perimeter of the whole land. So through all the 7/9 biomes, same as the private lands. And the tour took around 1 hour and 10 minutes. And that's just by running nonstop. But you can imagine how much time you'd need to explore the whole thing, considering all the detours you can make, all the settlements you can visit. And of course, once it's released, it's going to be released gradually. And so next step for the mainland is the blockout for the first stop. So, the first region that you're going to visit when the land launches. And from there on, you'll be able to explore the biomes that lie next to it through quests and dungeons and everything else. And so, yeah, can't really wait for you guys to be able to, try it out and see it for yourselves. We may be dropping some sneak peeks or perhaps at this point some concept art for the map. We've found an incredible tool called Incarnate that helped us lay out the whole geography before committing to anything in Unity. So that's been a great help, and I think maybe perhaps we could even drop like a zoomed out version so you could just gaze at the scale of it. So yeah, that's been very exciting. In the meantime, we're also building out all the assets for different biomes, because the idea is to have like a little demo land that would almost work like a exhibition showcase with little booths or tiny or islands that we could use to just show people the variety in fauna and flora and everything else in one single land. So the idea would be that we would release it. I don't know how the access would be, whether everybody would be able to go and hang out, or it's just going to be, reserved for some video showcases and whatnot. But the idea is that we would have this one demo land. They can imagine it's like a portal, like the one with Binance Land, that you'd be able to enter and just roam through all the different biomes just to get a feel for them. And I think that would be a pretty cool thing to release as well for everyone to try out. Yeah, that's like a short update about the lands. And I think as we enter the development stage for it, in faster paces, you'll have much more, hands-on examples to see. But I'll try and share the concept map with you as well. What's next?
I guess the next one thing you didn't mention is part of like the land and the way how we share it with you is we'll probably give the first glimpse of actual land gameplay by opening the beta for some limited time to give like people just ability to check it out, make some content, and just see, and we can collect some feedback from you guys. But at the same time, we really want to show you what we've been working on. And yeah, so I guess that will be like the big first milestone for the Zebras beta. And yeah, we still don't have a date for that, but as soon as we will know exactly when that could be possible, we'll definitely share the dates. Yeah, like building the land is the. I think when we're looking on the land and Zevers beta, it's pretty clear that it's like a 5-year roadmap plus, which then is just it's kind of like a forever game, and it's nice to see that we have finally a platform which kind of has no boundaries, so we can build as wide and as high as we want. And yeah, it's kind of like a marathon. So it's really exciting to see all this vision become like a reality. And yeah, big work is invested there. So I personally can't wait once we can share some of that with you, and also invite you to try it for yourself.
Yeah, and to address the question about quests, I saw Jay had a large table already mapping out some initial quests and like the quest line, like how you as a shaman will arrive to the island, to the mainland, away from the Sky Island, and how to have this all go together in a lore, in a way it makes sense, not just magically transport you into a land and it's like, all right, run around, go do whatever. We want you all to feel like you really inhabit the land, and feel a part of it and learn about various tribes inhabiting the land. And
Yeah, no, the continuity and the idea with the questing is that right now when you start Zevers, right, there's a few of these quests where you first go into the dungeon and then you have to put an egg like incubate the egg, and so on. And so one thing we're going to be doing is that once this beta launches, we're going to expand all of these quests onto the mainland. And so majority of you who already have been playing Zevers perhaps won't have too much use of them, but like that's going to be the first part, is creating these chains of quests for new players to explore the land. And it's going to be an interesting challenge to solve and split how the continuity and the transition will be for existing players versus new players. I'm sure we're gonna figure that out very well, because the idea is going to be that, hey, all these little quests you have to do at the beginning to learn all the ins and outs of the game, all the mechanics, they're just going to be spread across a much larger area, and each quest you'll have to do, instead of just Kaya popping up on your screen and telling you what to do, is going to be an actual character you will have to go talk with, perhaps help them with something so they can reward you with a resource or an item or a skill and so on. And so far the system is as follows, where we have these quests split into kind of two big categories, where part of the quest is done with NPCs and the other part is done through stations. So you can think of like a cooking station, fishing station, and so on. But then, like, a part of the quests, also something that we're exploring that we'll definitely want to integrate, is more of a puzzle quests, where it's actually not just about talking with someone, going collecting some things, but where you can influence your environment and complete puzzles and different interactive elements in the environment, maybe to get to some hidden places, or do something along those lines, similar, like the little fun thing we have with Rupert's chest, where you can kick it and get some coins out. So something like that, but on a much more deeper scale. So yeah, lots to look forward to.
Regarding the weekly PvP tournaments, I think we can visit this idea and see what we can set up. I like it. Yeah, I like the concept of having like a tournament, for example, for all the strong shamans, and then have one like very evened out, and yeah, I like it. Cool. Yeah, guys. So we aim to have a shorter AMA. If you have more questions, shoot them, and yeah, we can slowly start to wrap this up. We also aim to have these AMAs more frequent, just to have you all more into the loop and always updated. Euler, Evolution 2 staking boost update. Do you know anything about
Like, it should actually work automatically. So I hope you created a ticket so we can look it inside that. There may be a thing where if you have staked your Evo 2Z before it was updated, you may need to unstake it and stake it back again and see if it's fixed. But anyways, we can let maybe some of like auto update features had been failing, but no, we will either way then update it manually, and yeah, so we'll just need to look into that. So the idea around the haste, the question is, can you touch on haste again? Rewards will be fixed. What does that mean? That essentially means that APRs won't be fixed as it was. It will more be like, okay, we want to distribute, let's say, 5 million V tokens per day through the haste. So this is like the pool, and the more V you stake, obviously, the bigger pool share you get. But the higher league you are, it will give you like extra weight in your share in that pool. So this will be kind of fundamental change, where before the APRs were fixed, and at the beginning it was okay, but the moment we have like people starting to stake already tens and 20 million V tokens on the super high APRs, it kind of starts to get out of the hand. And yeah, so essentially we want to find like a really good balance between the rewards, and because the reward pool is fixed, it offers a lot of incentive for people to stake, until the point where APR is just not attractive enough to keep staking. So it will basically work on the market forces, and from there we can have no, there won't be a maximum you can put into haste, but as more people put more V token inside a haste, the APR for everyone just naturally will become lower, because all of them are competing for fixed size of the pool, and that's kind of the biggest change, because previously there was no fixed supply of the pool. It was just, okay, these are the APRs and this is what we're paying, and it just doesn't seem to be a sustainable solution. So okay. Yeah, we're gonna probably add some new social benefits. Some of the features we previously described may require you to have a social card eventually. So we definitely wanna we haven't forgotten about social cards, and this is a pretty important part of Zebra's economy as well. So we are we'll make sure that the benefits actually represent the worth of the social card itself. So yeah.
Regarding the question about landowner roles, we have added them, but yeah, I'll look into it. Why why people are not getting it, and yeah, uh, uh, we'll resolve that ASAP. Um, the Aero company, I guess you're thinking about what's coming in place of the ambassador program. What would be like the approximate timetable we're aiming to release it?
So we are basically starting. We are looking actually for somewhere in July. Before we start that, we want to refresh and change the experience for mass staking and lands. So we will be like upgrading benefits quite a lot for masks and for lands. So once we have taken care of that, which is personally for me, I think as a fundamental part of the Zverse, it's a core community. And once we have taken care of core community, we want to open the gates for wider audience, and kick off play to our airdrop campaign and system. So these things are quite connected. Mass staking may come somewhere in early July, and after that, it will be followed by play to airdrop. Yeah, double XP is random, so it's definitely not once a month thing. We just have these tools, so we want to explore and see how people in the economy react when we do these things. So yeah, it's definitely not some regular thing, but from time to time there is a chance we may launch some of these events.
All right. So about the will raiders in heights will be required to wager a percentage. Do you want to answer it? Because yeah, that's already very specific and detailed. I like the concept of it though. Might make it more spicy.
Actually, no comments to that. Like it's definitely an option. But the thing with the haste is it's pretty complex to balance the the DeFi part, the part where incentives should be aligned for stakers and for people who raid, and then the risk it actually takes and is involved in that. So there is like so many moving pieces. So we definitely have considered that, but we also haven't decided it yet. So we want to make it right, and we just need a bit more of time, but options are still on the table.
All right. Yeah. In regards to the question about the active communication with vaulting, Euler, anything to comment on that? We do.
Yeah, we definitely have communication. We just recently updated the V-staking, but like they're probably not have the best support, and we're like working with that, but they have like a really good tech behind it, and it's actually what matters when it comes about locking your assets away. So yeah, they have a really good tech and audit for everything. So our top priority when it came to staking was making sure it's super safe, and yeah, some of communication which still needs to be ironed out, but we'll look in that issue, and hopefully it should be fixed really soon.
Sweet. All right. I think we should wrap this up. Guys, if, with any other questions, still feel free to stay around either here or the general chat. I'm also going to be around, and we can answer any more questions you may or may not have. But yeah, this is going to be a shorter one. But thank you guys for coming, and yeah, cool. See you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.